Americans are very interested in a form of entertainment called sports. One of these sports is an athletic competition called football. Football is a sport where two teams clash, seemingly trying to prove which is more masculine. Each team tries to stop the other from reaching their end of the field. This is done by smashing into each other and forcing the person with the ball to the ground or taking the ball from the other team. Also, for a game that is literally named after a foot, that part of the body is barely used. There is a kick at the beginning of the game, after half of it, and after a team scores. The team that is in control of the ball normally tries to hand the ball to a player called a running back. This player is usually fast and strong so he can get away from the other team. If the ball is not handed off, it is usually thrown from one player to another. These players usually have people around them from the other team trying to stop them from catching the thrown ball. Watching the competition, though, one would not assume that the main goal is to score points. They would watch and think that the opposing teams were just trying to hurt each other. Many fans of this sport seem to blame referees after any loss. A fan will say that if their team lost a game, it was the referee's fault, either because they called something that shouldn't have been called or didn't call something that should have been called. No matter what, though, it never seems that a team lost because the other team was better in the fans' eyes. Overall, football seems to be a competition of masculinity and who can hurt the other team worse.
Hi, I'm Nolan. Today I will be talking about the sport of ice hockey. Now I have watched some other sports such as soccer and football, where it is pretty easy to understand that everyone running around wants the ball and to score with the ball. Now with hockey, the players don't run around with the ball. They so-called skate around on a slippery sheet of ice. I just can't understand how they can get their balance so well considering the sharp knives on the bottom of their shoes are not very wide. It is also very strange to me why players don't go around chasing balls like other sports such as soccer and rugby. Instead, they go around chasing the tiniest piece of hard black rubber that looks like it really hurt if it would hit you. But that is why they wear protective clothes around their body. I was able to meet with a player to see what kind of clothes they wear. First, players usually put on tight pants and a shirt. The next piece seems very important considering it protects well. You know where. The player then proceeded to put on hard plastic pads on his shins and so-called socks to cover them up, even though they look like nothing that socks I wear. Next, they slipped on some pants, then the shoes with the sharp knives at the bottom. For the top half of their body, they put on pads to protect their shoulders and elbows, and a jersey to cover it all up. Players must wear a helmet, but what really surprised me was that there's not much face protection, which is crazy because a little piece of hard black rubber looks like it could do some real damage to one's face. But it's not really big of a deal since the players just want to go out there and kill each other anyway. I have watched very little hockey, but I was able to catch a game while in the US. From watching, I mainly saw the players hitting each other as hard as possible. And even more crazy, the players can fight. Like who knew boxing was also mixed into the game. Now to make a goal, the players have to use their long sticks to hit the black piece of rubber into the net. I still wonder how the score stopper is able to see it most of the time because man is it small. When a player scores, they like to do some crazy celebrations, a lot of times getting down on one knee and touching the ice. Although hockey seems like a very violent sport, it is very entertaining to watch.
I'm Yasmin, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the world of all-star cheerleading. In the sport of competitive cheerleading, there are these huge companies that train all ages of girls and boys, and they form teams. These teams get group names like the ones named after animals or iconic movies from the 1980s. Some examples that I have seen were the Great White Sharks, Cheetahs, and Top Gun. Before the teams come out onto the blue squishy rugs they've placed down for them, the people around enchant encouraging things to cast good luck onto their favorite performers and groups. Big beams of light hit the carpet, and big booming sounds from the speakers echo around the arena as the tribes take the floor, jumping and screaming back at their admirers. Their outfits may seem too small, and some look made for a 5-year-old child, but they are full of shiny things resembling stars in the night sky. Things take a sudden turn. The people swing their arms in tight motions like a strong branch on a tree. Then groups of 4 people form all over the mat, and next thing you know, one girl from each group is thrown up into the sky. As gravity takes over, the girl does spins and extends her body until she's caught in the middle of the group again. After that, they throw their bodies across the floor, appearing to almost run into each other as they flip across the mats. Back into the groups they go, and they lift the girls on top of their hands, either at the level of their chin, or else the bottom people extend their arms above their head. They then pop the girl off top, and she flips down and is caught. The sound blaring out of the speaker stops, and once again the crowd screams encouraging chants and clapping and roaring. At the end of the event, all of the teams join together and a winner is crowned by handing over a statue that resembles gold. Big necklaces are placed around the neck of the winners and diamonds placed on their fingers. Competitive cheerleading seems to require great amounts of strength and power to throw their teammates in the air and to roll their bodies across the mats. It also takes a lot of teamwork to make sure they are all uniform and selling their performance to the judges.